Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, January 18th, 2022. Clerk, if you could call the roll of the commission, please.
Becker?
Here.
O'Flaherty?
Here.
Pena Graham? Stoker? Wright?
Here.
Maxwell? Vice Chair McMahon?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. I'd like to, at this point, I'd like to go for the approval of the agenda. So I'd ask the commission members if there are any additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda.
I'd move to approve as written.
We have a motion on the floor to approve the agenda as written by O'Flaherty. Second?
Second.
Seconded by Wright. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. The motion is carried. All right. The next thing I need is the approval of minutes from last meeting. So I'm going to ask the commission members if there are any additions, deletions, or corrections to the meeting minutes from the last meeting from the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Move to approve as presented.
We have a motion on the floor to approve the meeting minutes from last meeting from Becker. Is there a second?
Second.
We got a second by Wright. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. The motion carries for the record. Okay. At this point, we have the public participation part of the meeting. Is there anybody here wishing to speak on the record with something that's besides the new business? There's nothing in, no one here present to speak about something, an issue besides new business. I'm going to close this portion of the meeting, and I'm going to open up the new business portion of the meeting here. What we have on the docket tonight is a public hearing, a petition by Pappas Development for the partial annexation, rezoning, and preliminary plan approval for a 4-story executive suites building with 61 one-bedroom units to be called Arista Residences, located on a 1.8-acre site at the northwest corner of Barber Green Road and County Farm Road. At this point, is there somebody from Pappas Development that would like to approach the podium? I'd ask you to state your name for the record and your address and give us your presentation.
Hello everyone, my name is Poti Pappas and I'm here today representing Pappas Development. Pappas Development has been investing in this community for over 30 years, building beautiful, well-maintained properties throughout this town. Today, we would like to propose building on that success with a new project called Arista Residence. Arista deriving from the Greek word best in class. Arista Residence will be a 61-unit, ultra-high-end, solid brick and stone apartment building located at the corner of Barber Green Road and County Farm Road. This property has been for sale for quite some years with zero firm commitments until now. It's surrounded by a gas station and a commercial building that has been vacant since it was built 18 years ago. Arista Residence will breathe new life to this area by bringing in working professionals to support the surrounding businesses. Some of the features Arista Residence will offer include fully furnished apartments, hotel-style lobby, maid services, hospitality room, exercise room, golf simulators, and a business center. Our goal with every design decision is to mimic a 5-star hotel experience. The rapidly expanding demand for the high-end, fully furnished apartment concept is driven by working professionals moving to this community at a rapid pace. Corporate investment in DeKalb is booming, as is the investment and expansion of the Northwestern Medical Campus, driving the need for this style of living. These units do not burden the school district in any way, only adding to the tax base with limited overall impact of community services. I would also like to make a special mention that 90+% of the construction spend is with local family-owned businesses, which is extremely important. Thank you for the opportunity for the presentation today, and I look forward to answering any questions you may have.
Thank you, Fody. At this point, I'm going to ask the city staff to make their presentation.
Yes, I have a little cold, so I'll try and keep it brief, but Fody went over the background, certainly of the project, and as he mentioned, it's location on Barber Green Road, site of the former Bure's Landscaping and Lawn Care business. Total 1.8 acres. Part of the site has to be annexed, so a little unusual. You can see here where the west parcel is not in the city, so that would have to be annexed. And the east parcel half is already in the city, zone general commercial. So they want to rezone both sites to the planned development residential district. So there's one zoning category for the whole site. As noted, 61 one-bedroom apartment units, 12-month leases, about 700 square feet will be the unit sizes. Monthly rent will be about $1,350 on average. Fody mentioned the amenities proposed for the building. A little bit about the site plan that was submitted. So they're asking for a preliminary plan under plan development approval also. 3 points of access. There'll be a access right in, right out to Barber Green Road. That's under the jurisdiction of the county highway department. They've given the preliminary approval. Full access off to the east off County Farm Road, which is a city road, and then access on the north side to a private east-west drive, which is owned by the Northland Plaza Shopping Center. They do have the owners, and any future owner does have a license agreement to access that road. Public services be provided to the site. There's a detention pond on the north end of the property. A sanitary sewer running through the site now will be relocated, abandoned and relocated at the perimeter of the site. There'll be a sidewalk added along Barber Green Road that will connect to existing walks to the east and west. There's a landscape plan that was submitted. Part of the approval that meets all the UDO requirements for quantity. Parking-wise, one-bedroom apartments require 1.5 spaces for every unit. So with 61 units, there's 92 required parking spaces. They have 92 on the site. There'll be, the plan does show 56 covered spaces. Those will be at the perimeter of the site. The ones up by the building will be uncovered. And they did provide some images of the type, their carports of what they would look like. That's some images there. So that's their planning. I don't know if they're 100% sure. I think that's kind of an option maybe they're going to look at in the future, but
Yes.
that is shown on the plan at having some covered spaces, so for the residents' benefit. So the plans, as we do with all, are submitted to the different departments. Everybody's reviewed it. The Water Reclamation District has been in contact with them regarding future permits they'll need and fees to pay. They're, of course, relocating a sanitary sewer through the site. The city engineer has no remaining comments on the plans. They'll be required, once this goes through the commission and the council, there's a requirement that the final engineering plans be submitted, a final plat and photometric plan be submitted, meeting the UDO requirements, and go back through the commission and city council review. You did that a few times in some other projects too, where you see the final plans later. That's recommended here. A couple waivers to the UDO. One is sites under 2 acres. Planned development's 1.7 acres. Commission's recommended approval of this before Cornerstone, Plaza DeKalb, Safe Passage. So they need that planned development to accommodate some waivers. There's another one on open space, in terms of percentage open space, which is required for PDR sites, 15%. That's really more for like subdivisions, larger ones where they have parks and more environmental areas. So they need a waiver on that. But they do have, in terms of the site coverage, about 26% in green space. So, and they're meeting all the building setbacks, parking setbacks. There's no waivers to that. So, the findings of fact are there. I won't go through those individually, but they do meet all those standards. We only got one public input in terms of anything sent in prior to the posting of the agenda. That was from the owners, Herb and Linda Buer, indicating support for the project. So as a staff, we'd recommend approval. There's a sample motion prepared. This is a highly visible lot. It's been, unused for about 2 years, for sale for about 18 years. So this will be a positive impact on the community, add property values, be a benefit to the surrounding area in terms of adding more residents to the area for the retail stores. So we'd recommend approval. There's a sample motion prepared. Includes Exhibit A, which is the plans, the architectural elevations in the landscape plan. Plan development standards limiting to 61 units with the accessory uses, the 2 waivers mentioned, and then the requirement of final development plan be submitted with commission and council review at a later date prior to any construction on the site. That's all.
All right, thank you, Dan. At this point of the presentation, I would like to ask if there's anybody from the public wishing to speak on this item. If you do come up to speak, I want you to approach the podium and state your name and address before you speak. I do have one speaker request form from Denise Wyman.
Good evening. My name's Denise Weinman. I live at 286D Bentgrass Circle in DeKalb. The reason why I'm here tonight is on behalf of Herb and Linda Buer, who I represent. I've been a commercial real estate agent for, I hate to admit it, over 20-some years now. But I currently represent Herb and Linda Buer in the properties, the 2 parcels, which you've already seen a display of, one of them being annexed and one is not. I've been involved in this property since 2006 when it was under Milner and Associates. And during that time, we've had it under contract numerous times, a couple of hotels, national restaurant, a few retail applications as well through an LOI. But for one reason or another, we were not able to get those deals put together. One of the hurdles has been the annexation of the property. The other one, as was explained too, and you see the exhibit, was the location of the sanitary district and how that runs to the property and the cost to either relocate it, which Pappas Development is proposing to do. Other users looked at that and said, hey, I can only put my building on this side or that side of that sanitary line without moving it. So it restricted the number of people that were interested. So hopefully, most recently, Pappas came to us about October, I want to say, last year, put the property under contract. And I'm hoping they're the last one we have to court for this. So we, one of the reasons again that I'm here tonight is to kind of explain that I feel that this is a great use of the property. Like I said, we've exhausted our efforts to try and sell it. It fills a need too on residential. Those of you that are in the market or have had to look for a home recently, it's a tough market. It's a real tight market for residential. So Pappas Development here has a proven track record of that. The facilities that they currently operate are very well managed, which is huge, and there's no vacancies. So they want to invest in our community once again, and I commend them for that. They can finish a project once they put their mind to it and heart to it and have invested the time and energy they have so far. So I guess tonight what I'm asking for you is I feel it would be a great use of the property, turns a vacant piece of land into something that's productive, fills the need that our community needs right now, which is housing. And like was explained to by Fody here, was that property then will also have residents that walkability, if you will, to those local restaurants and retail. And so I think that is to be commended as well. So I'm asking for your approval tonight, and I want to thank you for your time for serving on this board, because I know how that is when you volunteer. So thank you again.
All right, thank you, Denise. Is there anybody else from the public wishing to come up and address? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to close the public portion of this meeting, and I'm going to open it up to comments and discussion among the staff. So does anybody from the commission have any comments, questions?
So I'm very torn on this particular project. I would love for the viewers to be able to sell the property. I have, it's been for sale for many years. I would love to see it developed. I'm just not sold on residential there. I can really understand the difficulty of this parcel because of a variety of complicating factors. But I just don't feel comfortable, with residential in that particular spot. Yeah.
Is it okay if I chime in?
Yeah.
So now, you don't like residential in the area for what specific reason? Giving the walking distance to
So,
multiple businesses?
What I see kind of the issue is I wouldn't want to live in that spot.
It's not for everybody.
No, it isn't. Because of the surrounding areas, being a gas station and other big commercial retail, that area isn't particularly walkable. Could you? Yes. But
Without leaving a main road? Literally, within staying in a parking lot, you can eat breakfast, you can go to Panera for lunch, you can go grab dog supplies, you can do your shopping at TJ Maxx, you can walk to Aldi's, you can grab ice cream at Steak and Shake, and you've yet to leave a parking lot.
Yeah.
I'd argue it's more walkable than downtown.
Okay. I just see the parcel as being better suited to a more traditional commercial development.
But the development next door has been vacant for 18 years, is that correct?
Oh, I believe that to be true. I mean, you guys have the years on that, not I.
So if I propose today a commercial development next door to the vacant commercial development, would that be better served?
Oh, no, if we're talking about what's the best use of that space, ideally, you would have like businesses or something else. It just seems very, it's not particularly congruent with the neighborhood and the other uses of the space around it. And so that's my hesitation.
Okay.
Fair enough, I appreciate that. Respectfully disagree, but
Yeah.
I do appreciate
Oh,
that
yeah, that's
commentary.
what these discussions are.
Yep.
I have a question. It seems this one is different than your other ones in that the first floor, it's all,
This is a
Residential.
100% residential building.
but this one, it seems like, why did you veer off of that? Because all your other ones are all commercial, which I like, and then residential.
Well, commercial's great, and obviously cities love to push commercial. It's a big driver of revenue in cities. But at some point, if anybody's looked at the history of Northland Plaza over the last 3 years, it was bought out by an outside firm. They slashed the prices on their rent, shifted everybody across the street into their thing. So we're bouncing around vacancies. I think we've hit a decent limit on commercial at this point. And if the demand for commercial was there, I'd be proposing commercial. But right now, I'm proposing to build something next to a site that's been vacant for 18 years. Not one time has a tenant moved in there. They're getting ready to replace their roof, and they still haven't had a tenant. So to add additional commercial is only going to hurt down the road other developments, which in turn is not good for this town. That's how you end up with discount tobacco stores on every corner. I'm proposing bringing in high-end, one-bedroom apartments with straws in, working professionals. Working professionals that have a fair amount of discretionary income that they can go out and spend all over the businesses in that area. So, you know, as nice as commercial is, it's definitely not a prime time spot for it. I think keeping a residential feel there specific will be good, and I think there's plenty of empty retail space for anyone to move into. And once that fills up, let's talk about more commercial. But we're talking about serious vacancies of commercial space on Sycamore Road. We're not talking about vacancies of high-end apartments.
Okay.
Um,
Go ahead, Jerry.
what is the profile of the resident that you think will fill these?
I think it'll build on Isaac. We see a lot of interns from Northwestern, a lot of traveling doctors, traveling nurses, especially with the ongoing circumstances. It's been a blessing really for a lot of these people to come in and they don't have to go furniture shopping. Everything's kind of turnkey for them. Huge expansion on capital investment here in DeKalb. To the credit of city management in recent years, we have big names in town. And these big names bring in a lot of people that require, they're not coming into town to move in a 3-bedroom apartment. They love this turnkey hotel-style apartment complex. And these people have choices. That, you know, they don't have to live in DeKalb. They could live in Genoa. They can live in Naperville. They can live they can live, you know, wherever they want. But this product allows us to be the best option. You know, and again, it's not a 500-unit site. We're talking about a 61-unit site that's more than absorbable, especially if we have confidence in the momentum in DeKalb, which we firmly do.
You have other apartment
Yes.
sites that you don't see any competition with yourself as you build?
That's an excellent question, and I do not. And the reason is I feel the downtown DeKalb market it stands alone. I think this kind of middle market stands alone. And the 1-bedroom fully furnished, although we may have other apartment buildings, they're not the same concept. So no, I have not seen ourselves kind of oversaturate. And if that was the case, you know, Isaac was leased probably within 15 days. You know, it went quick. And there's a lot more people that want to get into this building. And these are people now that are making decisions to move out of town. Well, let's keep that income here. You know, why would we force these people out? Because it may not be a living arrangement that everyone agrees with. You know, some people want that. Some people want to live out on a farm in the middle of nowhere, and all in between. People love this concept. It works for them.
Yeah, when I first read it, I thought, huh. But I drive by Isaac every day. And I think, Trixie, what we get hung up on is looking at that corner is a commercial corner. But the fact of the matter is, you're only 2 blocks away from a major hospital, and as Mr. Pappas said, a lot of professionals who are working very long shifts, who when they get done with their day, just want to get home. And they want a nice home, something they can get to quickly, someplace if they want to drive through and pick up an order from Chili's, they can, but within 5 minutes, they can be back to a place that's comfortable, warm, and easy access. I like it. I was trying at first to wrap my brain around it because of the commercial end of it, but then when I thought more about it, I came to that conclusion that I think it really does serve a need. And if it's done to the same quality level as Isaac, which it apparently is, I think it makes perfect sense. I like it. I really do like it.
Stephen, I appreciate those comments, and there's no question, not only is it going to be the level of quality of the Isaac, you know, we tend to get better with every project, and by eliminating some of the commercial, especially, you know, obviously on the first floor there, we're allowed to add additional amenities and kind of really improve on this concept. And again, there's a lot of commercial and a lot of empty commercial in the area.
All right. else? All right. Seeing no comments or no further comments, I'm going to ask if there is a motion by one of the members on this item.
Sure, I'll make it.
I have a motion.
Based upon the submitted petitions and testimony presented, I move that the Planning and Zoning Commission forward its findings of fact and recommend to the City Council approval of the rezoning upon annexation from the SFR 1 district to PDR district for a .68 acre property located along the north side of Barber Green Road, approximately 180 feet west of County Farm Road, commonly known as 2616 Barber Green Road. And, yeah, let me get down here. Approval of the rezoning from GC district to the PDR district for a 1.1 acre property located at the northwest corner of Barber Green Road and County Farm Road, commonly known as 1383 Barber Green Road. Approval is also recommended for a preliminary development plan as listed in Exhibit A to accommodate a 4-story executive suites residential complex with 61 one-bedroom dwelling units, subject to the standards listed in Exhibit B and subject to staff comments listed in Exhibit C.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor from Becker. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a second from Wright. I'm going to ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Becker,
Yes.
O'Flaherty,
No.
Pena Graham, Stoker, Wright,
Yes.
Maxwell, Vice Chair McMahon.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay. All right, thank you very much. Do we have any staff reports?
Just quickly, next meeting will be February 7th. We did receive final development plans for the First United Methodist Church for the new facility on Annie Glenn Road. If you remember that, we recommend the zoning and plan approval conceptual in summer 2020. So they're back now with the final plan. So we should see that on February 7th. And the second meeting in February is on a Tuesday, 22nd, due to the President's Day holiday.
Okay. All right, thank you, Dan. Is there anything from the commissioners that they have to report? Okay. Seeing none, I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
We have a motion on the floor from Wright to adjourn this meeting. Is there a second?
I second.
A second by O'Flaherty. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say sign. The motion passes. The meeting's adjourned.
Thank you. Good job.